I'm going to reboot for whatever that's worth, which is nothing.
My friends, it's 6 o'clock on Wednesday night. Welcome to Material Issues. And as the title of the vlog says, we are having issues again. We're not sure why David's connection. It was okay all the way up to about 5 minutes before game time, which, 5 minutes of, and it just, again, kind of crashed on us. So he's going to try to keep rebooting and do something. If there are any tech savvy people out there that can email Dave or message Dave or whatnot. Hi, Leah. I see you're there. I still don't see, it still says Facebook user. We got to figure that out. But, anybody get in touch with Dave via Facebook that can help him out. It's a little difficult. He's not sure why all of a sudden he just gets choppy and his voice goes, everything messes up. But I see Hannah. Hannah said hello. But we do have Lisa Mychols in the wings. She's going to come on live. David is going to try to get back here. In the interim, it is Material Issues with Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records and David Bash of International Pop Overthrow. And we are excited tonight to talk to Lisa Mychols. We're going to talk about a lot of neat things going on in her career and her life. Hey, Dolph, how you doing? David's still not here, but that's okay. One thing I wanted to mention kind of first, and we'll probably mention this in a couple more upcoming editions of Material Issues. One of my favorite record shops of all time, and one of David's favorites, Vintage Vinyl in New Brunswick, New Jersey. We just heard after 42 years, he's the owner is retiring and going out of business. Probably one of the greatest record stores, massive record store I've ever been in, and that makes us a little sad. End of July 31st is the last day for Vintage Vinyl. So while Dave keeps trying, I'm going to right now welcome to the channel. David's trying to come. Let's pop on David and see if he pops back in. Oh, he's from an hacienda. Hello, David.
I'm outside. I'm using data. Maybe this will work.
You look good. You look great in the sunshine. Here she comes. Are we ready? I was just saying a few things to get things started, but
are we?
Yeah, we're ready as can be because Lisa's waiting in the wings. You sound great.
In here? Am I here?
Yeah.
But do I look okay?
Well, that's opinions.
All right, we'll do what we can do.
You look great.
Well, yeah, that's always a matter of opinion.
Dave, you want to say an introduction for Lisa?
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, our privilege to introduce the queen of power pop, Lisa Mychols.
Oh, we caught her drinking something. Uh-oh.
It's water. Hi.
Hello. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you, Mark.
Hi, Lisa.
David. Hi, David. You both look great.
Well, thank you. So do you. You look fantastic.
Hi.
Thank you.
David moved outside
You
into the
always look
sunshine.
great.
Yeah. She always looks fantastic. It's one of those ageless wonders somehow. We don't know how she does it because the voice sounds wonderful. Everything is wonderful about Lisa Mychols. We all know that. It's great. But we're here to talk music. And I've listened to all 6 tracks of this great new Checkered Hearts EP. All cover tracks, all very well done, all classic Lisa Mychols. Did you have a blast making it?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Well, who's playing on the record? You and Hillary?
Just me and Hillary. We are everything. Yeah.
That's it.
And
wow.
Yeah, and it's so much fun getting to work with friends and people you've made relationships with. I should be looking there, huh? People who we make relationships with like throughout the years. There's just this, you're not so stressed out when it comes to recording or playing, you have your chemistry. So I really am grateful for that.
And what was the impetus behind a 6-track cover EP? All covers, all great covers, but what made you turn that around and say, well, I've written a million songs in my lifetime, but let's put out 6 covers?
Yeah, so we, Hillary and I, put out 2 full-length original CDs. So we thought it would be fun to do the 6-song CD. It just took a few more years to actually get it out. And now we're going to go back into, well, actually, we're working on new songs. We'll probably go back into the studio. And I hear David trying to get in.
Yeah, he's scratching at the screen here, trying to make his way through.
Like a little
Oh God!
squirrel.
We all love David Bash so much, and I just feel so bad about this connection problem he seems to always have right at the time we're about ready to go on. Doesn't matter whether we do it at 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, but
Oh, gotcha.
we'll keep our fingers crossed. Dolph Cheney said he just received copy number 58 of 100 yesterday.
Yay!
Looks and sounds great. That's
Cool.
pretty awesome.
Dolph has a show tomorrow.
Dolph's got a show tomorrow? Nice. Dolph.
Facebook Live. You can share it.
Facebook Live tomorrow, Dolph. Yes, everybody. Dolph Cheney. Facebook. Look it up tomorrow. Live show. Best Friend's Girl. First projected single is what I've been reading. Great cover track. I mean, just you put your own little spin on it. So it's not an identical little copy of the Cars. So very cool. Very cool. I'm digging the whole thing. I've been playing it loud all day, which is one of those EPs you got to crank it.
Yes, right.
But that's it. So the two of you are the only 2 musicians playing on the thing.
Right. And so going forward, so we're going to put our band together. Well, actually, the band's already together. We're going to start rehearsing some new songs. I keep going out of order. We have to write the songs, and we're going to rehearse the songs, record the songs. So we've a lot of stuff happening that we're very excited about.
Well, we all know that you're a prolific songwriter. I mean, you write a lot of songs. They're all quality songs. It's all classic Lisa Mychols kind of throughout everything you do. You're which is kind of think with all great artists, you know that's who this song comes from. You know, like it's got to be. What?
What is the secret to being a good songwriter?
Yeah.
What is it? It's listening to great music.
Yeah, there you go.
Possibly.
So one of the questions I had for you is because you are prolific as a songwriter. You do put out a lot of material. Where do you get your inspiration? I mean, are you walking down the street during the day and you're whistling and humming lyrics or tunes and right into your phone and then going home and saying, I got something.
You just nailed it.
Yeah.
You might. Have you been following me?
Pretty much. Don't tell anybody. I'm actually, if you look out the window by the fan, I'm sitting right there.
Yeah. There you are. That's exactly it. And I know like the words that are going to fit. I know my comfort of words and melody, like these go together, and it just a lot of
Now, obviously you know Tom Richards, right?
Yeah, I like posting him holding food. That's like a big thing. We're going to make magnets out of that, by the way.
You're what?
We're making magnets out of all the pictures I've been taking of Tom Richards holding food.
Holding food. TomRichardsFoodMagnets.com. You saw it right here. But while we're doing that, I did want to put up this EP, The Checkered Hearts, is available at thecheckeredhearts.com. It's scrolling down the bottom, right?
It's so cute.
You can see that. And also, if people don't know what it looks like, there you go. New EP, Joystick. I'm gonna wait till I get rid of Dolph's comment here because you can see it's on Spotify, Apple Music, and Chicanery Chick Records.
Chicanery Chick Records, which is part of Die Laughing and Golden Robot. And hi, Jillian and Dave.
Nice.
They're so sweet. Love you guys.
Hi, David. Hi, Lisa. Tom holding food. Yes, I'm getting a lot of comments about Tom holding food. But back to what I was saying, do you bounce a lot of ideas off of Tom? Do you bounce a lot off of Hillary, or are you kind of the wonders alone in my principles? I'm going to write in a corner by myself, and this is all me.
Luckily, I'm not like that. I'm actually not very good when it comes to. I'm really good with like putting melodies and words and things, but I need someone else to actually put it together properly. So with Hillary, we bounce ideas. We are just like totally, it's so easy with her. We've been doing that since we were in middle school though. And then with Tom, I just give him a hook and he gets it. And then I also work with Steve Ruffling sometimes, and he's one where I'll bring in a song and he just, well, that just goes in a whole different direction. So I get a different experience with each person I work with. So it's kind of fun.
Well, yeah, to have that many people around you that get you, let's say, and get kind of what you're about and where you're going with things is probably a huge help. And who picked all these cover tracks? Is this all you, or did you and Hillary say no?
I was just thinking the same question just yesterday, and it's funny you were asking. I think it was mostly Hillary. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We may have had conversations, but I loved everything she chose, and I just remember Precious to Me, and
I love that track. That's a great cover. Yeah.
And she brought her album. We were holding it under the light, going, "He's an angel." We are so crazy.
And of course they don't know that's a classic track, and I mean it's been covered by a lot of people and well done by a lot of people, but it's just one of those tracks that when somebody does it like you tune in right away because you got to hear how they do it. It works well.
And there's this something that's going on with the two singers in there in our version, so it makes it even more special to me.
Right,
like
cool. And you'll be writing some more. You'll be back in the studio. I know we're kind of reeling ourselves out of the pandemic here. I've never seen you on the East Coast and come this direction to play or whatnot. I'm sure you've kind of always stuck out on the West Side, but boy, it would be nice to have you come this direction.
Exactly.
And do some things once everything kind of opens up and frees our world.
Yeah, and I've made some really good relationships in the past few years of the East Coast, like more friendships. So I'm really looking forward to getting over there.
And
awesome. I need a proper New York experience because I still don't get it.
You do wait. You don't get New York?
No. I know, right? And people are like, "Oh my God, I'm obsessed with New York." I'm like, "But why? Like, I don't get it." And you know what I think? That I was programmed as a young kid, and I probably saw something on the news that scared me.
Probably deep seated inside of you but that'll all change once you get in there and just and wander everywhere.
Yeah, get ready to show me a good time.
Hey, well, I'm here. You're always welcome. I always say that to my good friends and special guests and things. Always welcome at my house. I'm here in South Jersey. I'm just outside of Philly, but New York's only an hour away. That's the beauty of the location. So, feel free to come in.
I spent the summer in New Jersey. I spent the summer by Atlantic City. I was
Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Ocean City, Wildwood, all the beach towns and things. Yeah.
Yes, and I saw Betsy Ross and the Flag. It was
did a little bit of Philadelphia sightseeing, huh? Yeah. Let's talk about Hillary. Not Hillary. Let's talk about Lisa. Body of work.
How much time do you have?
Well, I know. I mean, you release two albums last year, 2020.
We released
Sugar.
Oh, Sugar was 2019, I think.
2019, okay.
But we remastered it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that makes it a new version, but that's just the digital. And then this was the other one. Do you have this album?
Yes, I do. Okay. Yes, I do. Yeah. Now, what I was going to say from all your material, do you have a few songs that really stand out to you that came easily to you that you're most proud of, that you say, this is Lisa Mychols, this is me? You're from Mars, you haven't heard Lisa Mychols before, but let me put this track right here, let me put this on because this is me.
I think like Last Winter's Dream, my very first recordings, was my scariest. That was taking that first step into the unknown. And luckily I had some professionals, the Wonderments, helping me. And I kind of cornered Darian. I said, "We're recording an album." David!
I actually drove away from my house. I'm sitting in my car. So I'm probably not looking as clear as I might, but I think this is working, actually.
We hear you.
You hearing me?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
had
God.
just.
I forgot my headphones, though.
Oh.
But you know what? We'll make do.
We'll make it do. I was just. Go ahead.
I heard that you were talking about Darian. So, Lisa, I wanted to show you something. You may not have seen this for a long time, but let's try it here.
Oh, that's
This is
cool.
the original cassette of Lost Winter's Dream. This was pressed in 1990, and I got a copy from Darian, and I fell in love with it. And I have to say, of all the great things that you've done in your career, and there have been a lot of them, that is still my favorite thing you've ever done, and always will be.
Thank you.
I love
Excellent.
Lost Winners. Yeah, before you were the power pop queen, you were the 60s pop queen. The 60s pop Christmas queen, actually.
Yeah.
How many other people's first albums are Christmas albums? Not too many.
Seriously.
But that one's great. And well, I mean, first of all, how did you meet Nick and Darian?
Through Dominic Priori and his It's Happening dance show. So I had a boyfriend that he was a mod, and he would pick me up and take me to go dance. And it's out there somewhere on YouTube of us dancing. So yeah, and Darian and Nick were doing sound, I guess, and so Dominic knew we'd hit it off. So he is the magic glue.
So it was a wonderful marriage of talents. I mean, Darian especially with you. I mean, you were like gold in his hands, and the album is just absolutely brilliant. I sound like a fanboy here, but you know, when I first met Lisa in 1990, I kind of was, and you know, this album has come out on CD through Revola, right?
I think so. I think for a short while, and then they sold out or something.
Yeah, I don't have the copy with me here in the car.
Yeah,
but,
and I don't have one at all.
David had to quickly load his car up with everything.
If you guys don't have Lost Winter's Dream, you really need to buy it. It just has this really nice girl group kind of Leslie Gore vibe, but with Christmas songs. So try and imagine that. And you wrote or co-wrote just about everything on that record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, we all know that the music, it's all, you know, you can hear that Wonderment sound. It's. I mean, what a joy, and God, I'm gonna cry. I miss Nick so bad, like that. I can't ever recapture that in another, you know, recording.
But grateful that you did. That's
1990s, so you were only 6 years old at the time.
Yes.
Quite a prodigy.
Yes, that needs to be mentioned. Thank you, David.
Where did you go next? Was Dreamworld next for you?
Yes, then there was Dreamworld, and that I was still trying to find my way though. So I was getting really frustrated. Tammy, hi Tammy, Ashley, Kim, great girls. But I needed my own thing, and that's where the Masticators would come in. So I was still like growing up, and I was like, I need to get my Kiss rock out of me, and so that's what got me, you know, I wanted a killer boy band, you know, the guys like, you know, wailing but still pop, right? So that was fun.
And here it is, the Masticators CD.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. I got mine here somewhere. Yeah.
That was
I was gonna.
yeah. I think the first IPO in LA in 1998, the Mastercaters played. And didn't you meet Gary Pitt Gold through that?
Yes, yes, we sure did. I was so nervous that day. David put us in the most perfect slot ever. I was so nervous. It was at the place by the pizza place, I think. The gig.
It was a gig in West LA, which is gone now.
Yeah, and I was shaking. And it's on video somewhere on YouTube. That was fun.
Oh, there's a
Do you
video of
still
that. Oh, I need to see it.
shake
Right.
before performances?
Yes, I
Yeah.
sure do. I
Yeah.
I'm still very, very nervous, but I'm
Well,
getting better.
but
I'm
it's
learning.
also kind of a good thing. That nervous energy gets you sharp,
Yeah.
and then about 2 or 3 minutes into it, that's when you're just like, boom, we're here. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I really love too is after a good show, that high you get. David, I don't know, is that something like either of you get? Like when you see a great show, like you're so pumped up.
Oh yeah.
And then there's some
Well,
shows you're not.
after IPO, where I get to see so many great bands, that particular night, I'm so pumped up. I can't. I'm so full of energy that I can't fall right asleep. I usually
Nice.
get online and start answering emails. I'm just so pumped. It's like I can't wait to do it again.
Oh,
David provides that for a lot of people with IPO shows all over the world. I've seen incredible artists at the IPOs I've gone to. That first time I went to Liverpool, David, I mean, my gosh, band after band were like these CDs I got in my collection. I never thought I'd see them ever. I mean, Stone Cake playing 2 hours of covers in the Cavern Pub because a couple bands didn't show up, so they just rocked for hours. And it was a blast. And seeing the Orgone Box play live, my head was spinning. I'm standing there going, "Oh my God, it's Rick Corcoran!" And you don't. Though you provide those kind of experiences for people, in many, 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 many venues around the world, and fantastic.
Lisa, you definitely, whatever you do, you must come to IPO Liverpool someday. Visit the Cavern, soak in the whole Beatle essence of the city, and also see just some amazing bands from all over the world. Because it's at the Cavern, we get the cream of the crop, and it doesn't really matter where you are. You're going to want to come and play the Cavern. So I think we've had well over 20 countries represented, including the U.S. So if you ever can get there with any of your projects, let me know. Because,
okay. Yeah, I definitely. I would love to bring the 7 and 6 and Checkered Hearts, but I have to play with Emperor Penguin. So make sure we're on the same night. Usually, you're not really allowed to ask David to but when he comes there, if I'm going to get a passport and fly all the way across the water, I got to play with my buddies.
Something tells me he might make that happen for you.
In my head, Lisa. So that would definitely happen.
I think I asked him this already anyway. So right? Didn't I ask like 2 years? Okay, thank you. But you guys don't ask them of David.
You get connected with a lot of people. How did you get connected with Emperor Penguin, who are a really good, quirky pop band?
You may have to ask them. When you have them on, ask them, because I don't remember.
Nigel, if you're here, if you're watching, Nigel, tell everyone how you and Lisa got connected.
Yeah, I have. And what was our first song? It's all a blur.
I don't know if I was in front of my collection, I could tell you, but
yeah.
In the car, whatever works. I'm glad I was able to get this.
I don't have it in front of me.
Mark.
Oh,
yes.
I forgot to tell you. I think my favorite recording, besides Last Winter's Dream, of just my own solo stuff, would probably be Above, Beyond, and In Between.
Mm-hmm.
That one was produced by Tom Richards, and Sugar was kind of a follow-up to that. Well, actually, no, I like Sweet Sensations, actually. Shoot.
David, I was just asking Lisa if someone dropped in from Mars.
You say?
It's upside down. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I think that's the one. And what's funny, oh my gosh, what's even better is after the Masticators, like when they broke up, it was devastating and traumatic for me. So I needed to find myself again. And thank you, David. Thank you, David, because he'd always invite me to IPO and just keep me going. So that helped, and I'd play out every year, once a year, and so that record kind of helped me reinvent myself. But I still felt lost, and it was kind of pre social media, and I was still writing fans by hand in the mail. Yeah, different time, but that record's very special to me.
Well, it's good you could write so well when you were 6 years old. I mean,
Yeah,
most
no,
people.
I think I was 8 by then.
Oh, 8 years old.
David's documenting.
At the time the record came out, and a few of the songs are on IPO CDs, like "Rocket to Mars" and "Gonna Get That Boy."
Yes.
So that's always cool too. You've submitted songs for the IPO CD many years, as have the Waking Hours, and I've always been grateful for that.
Yeah, the waking hours.
Anything happening? Anything happening with the Waking Hours? Is there going to be a reunion?
No. Everybody still wants to play with the waking hours. Mark, do you have this one?
Yes, I do.
Dang, you have everything. Like, what can I send you? So yeah, if we all lived in the same city, we probably, I mean, because that's another band that just has the most amazing chemistry. And one thing I was going to say about you, David, is IPO, what I especially also love is that you bring bands back together. You help those bands get reunited. And I would love, like, maybe in Virginia, like wherever you do IPO, where Virginia is, like, around there, maybe they'll do a show. Don't lose hope.
I've been thinking. I did in Baltimore one year, and I've been thinking about going back to that area. So that would be pretty close to Virginia. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think they do it. I really do. I think Tom would go back and see his family, and oh God, I love those boys.
I'll keep that. That's more incentive to bring it back there. Now,
Tom's my boy. Stop it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about the Checkered Hearts, and actually, a few people asked me this question, so I'm going to ask you for them. This is a reunion with Hillary Burton, who, of course, you were together with for New Shoe. What was the reason for the name change?
Do you have that one, Mark?
Yes.
You got that one? So, just a fresh start, I think. I mean, in my own, I can only speak for myself, and a fresh look. Oh, I know. There was another band who had that name, and it was very strange. Like, I didn't want to get confused with them. So, yeah, I really love this new, yeah.
Well, a lot of things you can do with the logo Checkered Hearts too.
You never know where you're gonna find another band with the same name, and you think you come up with an unusual name, and somebody else comes up with it too. Like Steve Stanley's band, Single Bullet Theory. Obviously, that relates to the Kennedy assassination, but you wouldn't think another group of people would name their band Single Bullet Theory. But it turned out that there was a band with that name before Steve put his together. So they had to change their name to the Now People, which I think is better anyway.
Yeah.
But I bet they were shocked to find out that some band had the name Single Bullet Theory before them.
Right.
And while we're talking about Checkered Hearts, once again, I like to pop this up. That's the new EP, Joystick, out now. Spotify, Apple Music, Chicanery Chick Records. Make sure you look for that. Go get it. 6 great cover tracks. We've already discussed the cover tracks a little bit, David. And we've got the one. What's the hidden track on there? Supposedly the original.
Oh, So Long Maybe.
Yes. Yep. So Long Maybe. Yep. That's on there as well. So 5 cover tracks.
I love Hillary's guitar playing. She's got like the best tones.
No, it's
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I have heard the tracks. They're really cool. They rock. Yeah, it's good stuff. And
I was asking Lisa, like, if someone landed from Mars and she was going to tell us one song that said, "This is Lisa Mychols," and she was it was brewing in her head whenever you came back on, and you popped back in a little bit with that, but then we got off track a little bit. But I always like to ask that kind of a question and make you think a little bit. Smoke coming out of her ears, David.
Are you asking Lisa, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like Dreamers Awake. I don't know. That one's like, I know it's slow, and I'm like not even a fan of like slow music, but that one is kind of psychedelic to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a real strong, it's like a part of my soul, probably.
It's a good answer. I love
What
it.
about, can I ask the same of you guys? What's your favorite song?
What? I didn't hear the question. What is it?
What's the question, Mark?
The question basically is, like, if somebody said, well, who's Lisa Mychols? Like, there's going to be people tuning in tonight that are saying, well, who's Lisa Mychols? You know, now we can go through a lot of the bands we just talked about, from the Masticators to New Shoe to just Lisa Mychols to the Checkered Hearts. And but I would say, if you're going to play one track and say, this is Lisa Mychols, you know, they've got time for a track. What do you play? You know, and so I asked her, what would she play to say, this is me?
I'm not good at that question.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know how anyone answer those kind of questions. What's your favorite Sunday morning record? How the fuck should I know?
What do you listen to in the shower, David?
That's private, Mark.
No, I said listen to. It's all good.
What do I listen to? My woman screaming. That's what I listen to.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. There's a fan who wrote in and said, Cactus Boy is 100% Lisa Mychols.
Okay.
Power pop at its finest.
Okay, that was the first song I ever wrote, and Steve Reffling was the producer. That's like his sound, you know, all real instruments and real amps. He's really good at certain sounds.
Right.
So really grateful for. Thank you. I forgot about that one.
Well, it's kind of why we do this. We ask some goofy questions, but people will chime in and say what they really like about the guests. You know, it's happened the last couple of weeks. We've had some great guests, and I'm thrilled to death that Lisa Mychols is guest number 3 on Material Issues, because this is a thrill for me too. It's really nice talking to you. Yeah,
you guys,
so.
You guys are great. I love you.
I'll try to answer that question. Well, Lisa's had a very long career, so you know, you can't. I don't think you can sum her up in one track. Obviously, if I wanted to play the earlier stuff for somebody, X times mass equals time squared is my favorite song that Lisa's ever been on. So I would have to play that and say, well, this is what Lisa was doing when she started out. And you know, if I wanted to talk about Lisa now, I would play, you know, some track from the Checkered Hearts, because that's what she's about now. So, and those are two very different things. Although melodically, they're both right on. So you can see Lisa has never lost her melodic sense. I'm sure never will. So I would pick one from then and one from now.
I think the wonderful thing about Lisa is that she loves making music. She loves what she does. She's very good at it, and she doesn't just go, just get it out, do it, keep doing it, and enjoy the heck out of it, because we enjoy what you do, and that's kind of why we look forward to anything new from Lisa Mychols. You know?
Oh, there's a good question.
The Time Machine. That's Michael McCartney.
Michael! We got to get to Hawaii, too. We got to get back to Maui.
So what does Michael say? How do you juggle doing so many wonderful guest appearances on the music projects of other artists while still remaining focused on your own original material?
Wow. Because I'm a Leo? We like to have our hands in everything at once.
Good answer.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stuff going on right now. It's crazy.
No,
was that a good answer?
Well, just while being, you know, a mom also.
Yeah.
And how has that affected your music career, or has it at all?
Girl Scouts is killing me right now. Other than that, Who? Yeah. No, the kids are getting older, so now we're like able to play out again. I get to be 6 years old again. You know. um,
And it gets a little break and gets you back into doing something a little bit different. Although, of course, my girls are now 26 and 22, so
oh,
I'd go I'd go back in an instant. But
I know.
enjoy every moment, and I'm sure they will grow and be super proud of mom and everything she's done
Oh yeah,
music wise, which is very cool.
yeah. Right now they're in that whatever phase. Like they're just not impressed.
Not yet, but
Once
it'll come.
I pass on, maybe. It's okay. It's not for them, right?
And they're what age right now?
Okay, so my boy, he's 15, and
15.
he's at a pool party right now. And then Vivian is 10. She'll be 11 in September.
Do they show some musical interest at all? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Harrison loves to sing. He's really into Russian music. I don't know where it comes from, but it's amazing. And we're talking like the 40s. Like he likes old stuff. So he must be kind of old soul. And then, so yeah, lots of singing. He's great. Vivian is into piano. She took drum lessons and guitar, but she's really into piano. The one instrument I could never actually be good at.
No, your parents. My parents made me do it for a number of years.
Why?
Gives you a base. Yeah.
It's amazing how much time has flown. I mean, I'll never forget your wedding to Tom, and seeing Harrison as just a newborn practically, and now he's 15.
Sorry, Harrison's calling. Give that to Daddy, please.
Speak of the devil,
I can't go pick him up. I'm being a rock star right now. Just kidding.
There you go.
I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to stay at the pool party. And no, I'm kidding.
Is he in a band or aspiring to be in one?
No, he hasn't shown any interest in that. But he's performed, and he was great. He was in a Little Red Riding Hood play or something musical. I don't know what they were doing, and he was great though. He was so natural at it, and he's been chosen to do solos and chorus. He really likes singing with a team.
Awesome.
He loves people.
What is this comment here? New album coming out next year? Okay, what's that about?
Okay, so so we'll probably have a Checkered Hearts album next year, but I think what they're asking, Lisa Mychols and Super 8 are, we already have an album pretty much done, and that's being released through Gem Records. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Marty. Hi, Trip. And we were also a part of the Brian Wilson tribute, which is really exciting, and that comes out the 16th, so we're really excited. So yeah, those are coming out. So that's what's going to happen in 2022.
Wow,
I just wrote a review of that album. That album is incredible, by the way. I mean, not just your tracks, but everybody on there. I mean, you've got real heavyweights. You've got the Gripweeds, the Anderson Council, the Weaklings, Jonathan Pushkar, Richard Barone, and they're all doing Beach Boys songs. And, when you have a great band like the Beach Boys being paid tribute to by awesome pop artists, the results are going to be good, and they are. And some of it's very faithful, and some of it's putting new spins on stuff. But man, I'm telling you, anyone who's listening, if you're a Beach Boys fan, get this tribute album. It's one of the best I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's really good. And that's another reason I want to get to the East Coast, is to play with these bands. Like I want to meet the Gem Records family. I love their roster. I love these beautiful musicians, artists, bands there. And I got to meet Marty.
That's right. Marty's a trip, definitely.
And the Gripweeds have what's their new single, David? It just all of a sudden I just lost it.
You're so
Good to me. Good to me. Yeah, the
It's
great,
so
great,
good. Both
great.
and heroes and villains. It's so
Yeah,
good. I'm
you're
just
so
like,
good to me.
that man is so. I mean, that band is so talented. Oh my gosh, they're so talented. But they've been
Yes, they
around
are.
a long, long time. And did you know? Fun fact. Fun fact. The Masticators are on a single from years ago with the Gripweeds because of Gary
I
Gold.
did not know that. I
Wow.
don't even know.
Really?
I don't know what I
That's new.
have, but yeah, I didn't know that.
No,
Wow.
nice.
I'll have to find it.
They
I'll have
are
to find the single.
the Gripweeds are an amazing band, and in fact, Kurt Ryle, who plays, is one of the main singer-songwriters and plays drums for them, and his wife Kristen Pinnell are among the best musicians I've ever seen.
Yes.
Kurt on
Well,
drums, Kristen on guitar, definitely both in my top 10
and then you
that I've
throw
seen,
Rick in there.
Mm.
that
Brother
I've
Rick
had in
is
my,
also
yeah.
multi-instrumentalist. You
Uh-huh.
know,
There's such a great chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, the whole
fantastic.
band is incredible, but those two in particular are just stunning musicians.
They really are. And I didn't realize how much I'd have to step up my game before working with Marty and knowing that Kurt was going to hear my vocals where I would get a little lazy at times. Oh my goodness, never again. I got to step up my game now I'm working with Kurt. Yikes.
Yeah,
I
they're
know who made this comment, by the way.
Ooh,
It takes a lot of work to do, but Kurt Ryle does. I'm going to keep it to myself, but I know who made it. But it actually does. Kurt, besides being a multi instrumentalist, he's also a producer extraordinaire in his home studio, House of Vibes, and has guested on a lot of other people's tracks. So yeah, it does take a lot of work for him to do what he does.
and they were on that Daryl Hall show. What was that show?
uh, uh, live
Live at Daryl's.
live from Daryl's house, or
How the heck do you get on
Oh
that
yeah,
I
show?
have no idea how they got on that, but fantastic. Yeah, yeah. Well, they're 45 minutes north, Lisa. So when you come this direction to play Philadelphia and New York, and I don't know if you were here, David, when Lisa said she had a little bit of a stigma about New York. Like, what's so great about New York? But she's something from her childhood scared her away from New York City.
That's all I can
She's
think
got
of.
it. She's got to get over it.
Yeah.
And
well,
yeah,
Yeah.
Manhattan especially is definitely culture shock for people who have never been there. I remember going there with a couple of friends in our early 20s, and I'd been there many times. I mean, I had graduated from New York University by this time, but one of our friends had never been there, and he was so frightened when we were walking at night, especially in Greenwich Village. Every time we came by an alleyway, he would look over in fear that somebody was about to jump us, and he couldn't wait to get out of there. And I kept telling him, it's safe. Don't worry about it. This is all. I mean, this is all stereotypes from things that you've seen on the news and everything
Yeah.
being blown out of proportion. And not only that, but the city has gotten cleaned up. I mean, people have things to say about Rudy Giuliani, many of which are not flattering. But I'll say this much: back in the '90s, when he became mayor, he cleaned up that city. The city had been mob run. It had been absolutely inundated with garbage and crime and everything, and he made it way better. Manhattan right now is, it's a very safe place, and it's a beautiful place. It's absolutely electric. Every time I walk down the streets there, it's alive. It's vibrant. Things are open for 24 hours. Lisa, don't worry about it.
I
I
like that
promise.
part. As long
And your
as
big,
if there's
strong husband will protect you anyway.
yeah,
And
24-hour food, is important.
that's right. There's a Chinese restaurant called Wo Hop that a bunch of us go to all the time. That's
Okay.
24/7. Well, we'll have to take you there. And by the way, when I said her husband Tom Richards is strong, I wasn't kidding. Um, one time, I introduced, I guess it was the Masticators. Forgot the name of the club, like Q's River Bottom or something. And that,
Yes.
and Tom, and this is when I weighed like about 240 pounds. Tom lifted me right off the ground. I couldn't believe it because he must have weighed at that time like what, 155 or something. And this guy just lifted me off the ground. I can barely lift my wife off the ground, and she only weighs like 110, you know. And this guy's lifting me. I mean, man, is he strong? I knew don't cross Tom Richards. That, you know. I said no. He's a strong motherfucker, definitely.
Nice.
And we can use that language here. This is our own broadcast. We don't care. We can say what we want to say. It's all good.
Tom, if you're listening, I love you to pieces.
Yeah, I mean,
comment too.
I mean, David, think about.
Inside joke between me and somebody else.
But
I was that. He's not.
I may have never met Tom without David.
Oh, what did I do there?
International Pop Overthrow, where it brings people together. Do you actually have a slogan for international?
Oh, right.
No,
he does now. Yeah.
No, the Waking Hours came out in 1998 from Virginia to play the first IPO.
Yeah.
And I had heard their records. I knew I loved their music, but man, their performance level took it to a new heights. They played at a club called Luna Park, which also is gone. And they're playing, you know, they're doing their you know, sort of indie power pop thing, and it's really good. And then the last song, they do this punk version of the LL Cool J song. What is it called? Mama Said Bye?
Mama Said Knock You Out. Yep.
Mama Said Knock You Out. What the hell are they doing? And at the end of the set, at the end of the show, Tom starts biting his guitar strings to the point where he's bleeding. It's like blood's coming out of his mouth. He doesn't care. He's having the time of his life. And then he gave me a big wet one on my cheek. It was all bloody and everything. I'll never forget that. And I loved every second of it.
Yeah. Oh, I love those boys.
John Kirby checked in.
Hi, John.
Said he ran sound for Grip Weeds at IPO Liverpool and for Lisa in the Waking Hours new shoe at IPO. Hi, John.
He's been there through my meltdowns.
John is the world's biggest Lisa Mychols fan. I mean, there's no doubt.
Well, nice to see you, John. Too. And somebody just commented, WHs were ridiculous. It must be Waking Hours.
It was a big shock to us because we'd never seen them, and you know, we had no idea they were going to do anything like that. So yeah, we were like, "What?"
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it's great. Lisa, we thank you for being on this whole thing.
Thank you so much for having me. That was fun.
I know.
I'm glad I actually got to participate in this one. Now I know what I have to do. I just have to drive somewhere.
Baby steps, David. I said, but we'll figure this out. We will figure this out.
Yep.
But I know, Lisa, I know you've got life going on there, and we're coming. You know, we're winding up our hour here nicely. And
my air-conditioned car.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
And his music
stuff with me, and yeah, we're good.
And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you about what's going on now, what's coming up in the future, a little bit of the past and whatnot. And I know you and I, every once in a while, back and forth online with little comments about life and things like that. But an absolute pleasure to see you in this virtual world, live and in person. And thank you for joining us here.
It really was, Lisa. And you know, like I said earlier, I've known Lisa since 1990, so that's 31 years. And, you know, you're always going to be one of my favorite people. And, you know, we don't talk as often as we used to, but I love you. I really do. And Tom also. And, yeah, we look forward to the next time we see you guys. And yeah, come up to the house. You know, we've only had it for a couple of years. We're in Reseda. It's nice. You can see the record collection and all that.
Nice.
And, maybe Rena will cook for us because she is one amazing cook. And, yeah, thank you so much for doing this, Lisa. Really.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Mark. And I can't wait
You're welcome.
I'll be at the East Coast soon. I'll be at Liverpool soon, or somewhere in the UK. And I will see you, David, soon. And thanks everyone for just being here. And I look forward to, being in the chat room for your future shows. I love your show. Thank you again.
Thank you, Lisa. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, David, that was Lisa Mychols, and I am so glad that you were part of this thing. We figured out a little bit how to get you.
Yeah, me too.
You just got to try.
I'll figure out another place to go where I can situate myself a little bit better than the car. But actually, I mean, it's because of your daughter, Leah, that it even occurred to me to do this from a car, because that one time when we first put this together and tested it out, and she called you from her car,
right?
A video, and her connection was just fine. So it's like, let me try that. That way, if someone really is trying to mess up my Wi-Fi, I mean, there's nothing they can do about it now.
Are you looking in your rearview mirror? Is there anybody back there?
Oh my God, he's coming at me with a knife.
Hey, David, when we first started and your connection got bad, I was just talking about a couple of things quickly before Lisa joined. And the one big thing that I did say is that I think you and I are both lamenting the news that Vintage Vinyl in New Brunswick is going out of business July 31st after 42 years. Says he's retiring, and we'll take it at that. But what a great record store Vintage Vinyl.
It was a great store, and I first went there in 1982, just before I moved to California. It was a much smaller store at that time, different location. But Joe Riccardello, if he happens to be watching this, he was managing the store at the time. Rob Roth, who still owns it, was the owner. Joe was there, and we were talking about music, and I told him about my taste because I thought maybe he could turn me on to some stuff. And he said, there's this guy I think you'd like called Marshall Crenshaw. And he played me, I think at the time he only had a single out, and he played that for me, and it was like, wow, okay. Joe, you got my taste A-okay. And then another time I came in, and I see this single displayed by this group called the Modulators. And I said, Joe, what's that about? And he said, well, that's my band. And he seemed very self-effacing, like, I don't know if you'll like it, but, it's power pop. And so I said, well, I'll buy it. And yeah, I certainly liked it. And, that led to 27 years later, the Modulators got back together to do an IPO show. And they've done many since. In fact, they've come to Liverpool a couple of times.
Right. Yeah.
So that's all because of Vintage Vinyl, and I've been there many, many times since then. And yeah, I was shocked to see that they were. Not shocked because my first thought was, well, COVID did them in, but as it turns out, that's not COVID. It's just the owner is getting to the point where he's ready to retire.
Right. And unless somebody steps up and buys the whole lock, stock, and barrel, he's just going to be done. So
yeah, Mark, dip into that Rockefeller fund you've got, and
yeah, where'd it go? It was right here. It was right here a second ago.
Oh yeah,
but you know what?
Right now.
You were the one that turned me on to Vintage Vinyl a million years ago on your first trip staying out here with me, however many years ago that was. You said, can we go up to this place, and you turned me on to Rocket Scientist when we were in the city.
Another store that's gone.
Yeah, another store that's gone.
But all I've done is talk about things that are gone. 2 venues, 2 stores. Well, Vintage Vinyl's still here for another month, and I hope to get back there before July 31st when they close. Thank you. Ooh, what?
Says thank you, Norm.
I have a feeling this is Norm, not thanking Norm.
Well, I'm actually going to go up to Vintage Vinyl on Sunday. I know between now and the 31st, the stock is going to probably just go like this. So I figure one more trip with my daughter up there on Sunday. I think she'll go with me, and I think I'll try to even spring for a Vintage Vinyl T-shirt because.
Yeah, get that NASA shirt that they did. It's really cool. I got that last time we were there.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
I'm certainly gonna wear it. Right before they close, I'll post on Facebook, wishing Rob luck and the whole
Right.
thing. But yeah, it's definitely, if I had to rank my 10 favorite record stores in the world, and not that I've been to every country, but I've been to a few, along with lots of states. Vintage vinyl's in the top 10.
Right.
It's really
Just
Rob always took great care to make sure that the coolest releases were stocked and quickly. And
yeah.
yeah, it's really a
And
shame.
and
And
besides just the new vinyl and cool releases, and of course tons of CDs, they just had a huge used section of vinyl, and it was all cleaned up and very graded in great condition. I mean, huge section, and that's where my daughter loves to go to the soundtracks, and she buys vintage soundtrack LPs from the '60s, and that's a
your
place
daughter
that
buys Epic soundtrack albums?
yeah, soundtrack, yeah. Epic
Well, she
sound.
probably thinks they're epic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She does, But it's just a great store, massive store, great selection of everything, and just so much. I could spend literally hours just perusing a place like that. That's a whole afternoon event for me. So,
Yeah.
and that takes me back to the days of doing that quite often. But
Well, now, once it's gone, we'll have to get you to Stockholm to Nostalgia Palace.
yeah, I think I'll be going to Sweden with you next time at IPO Stockholm. I need to go. Um,
It's a beautiful, beautiful city with obviously an amazing pop scene. And the women, man, Mark, let me tell you, you'll have your pick of the litter. As a single guy, you'll be all over it.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, the Time Machine, Michael, check back in. Soundtracks have been a big part of my record collection too. There you go, Hannah. You heard it from Hawaii and Michael McCartney and the Time Machine. Michael, I haven't talked to you in quite a long time. Hope you're well out there on the the far Pacific in Hawaii.
Maybe
So,
a future guest on Material
Michael
Issue.
McCartney, yes, indeed.
Oh
We
yeah, and I'd
can.
like to announce something. Next week we're going to have none other than the Zelig of pop. We're going from the Queen of Power Pop to the Zelig of pop, Fernando Perdomo.
Fernando Perdomo next Wednesday. You heard it right here.
Fernando, I call him the Zelig of pop because he has his hand in everything. And anytime you see a photo of a band on Facebook, he's in it. So 100 years from now, when people look back at the history of music, of rock and roll, and they see these pictures, they're going to see this guy Fernando in everything. I don't care when he's going to live till he's about 150, and then be in everybody's videos. So,
well, there you go. And I think next week we'll be at the same time right now, 6:00 Eastern time, 3:00 p.m. Pacific Coast time. So if
hopefully
you're
hopefully I'll be in a location with a little better lighting, so I don't look. I need an epic soundtrack song score top 10. I hate to say I like epic soundtrack stuff, but I'm not a huge fan, so I don't think that one is going to happen.
Hi, Maureen.
Yes, thank you for tuning in.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Gem Records.
So yeah, I'll find a better location where the lighting is good and where I know it's going to actually work. So, this is something I should have done 2 weeks ago when we had this problem. I thought it was an anomaly at the time, so I didn't. But yeah,
I can see you. I can see you live from my local library. Hi, this is David Bash. Shh.
Well, that's one idea.
That's an idea.
The first time I've been to a library since high school. I'll tell you that. But no, we'll figure it out. I'm glad that it worked out this week for 45 minutes of the show. Anyway, steering wheel.
Ring light.
I'm trying to remember when I took my driving lessons, and you may have seen this too, Mark, when you took driver's ed. When they made you watch that 3-hour film or whatever it was, and they gave you the 5 tips for driving. I remember: aim high in steering, make sure they see you, And I forgot what the other 5 were. The other 3 were, but I'll never forget those 2. That film must have been done in like 1945, but they kept showing it for at least through the mid 70s. I saw it twice because I failed a driving test, but whatever. So
It's all good.
You made it, David. So glad you made it. Give me some loving.
Boom.
Don't forget your headset next time. Yeah, no kidding. I finally said, screw it. I'm leaving the house. I'm going to find a place to do this.
Oh, Lord. I'm laughing too hard over here.
Here we are on I think it's Shirley Road in Reseda, California.
Now you gave your location away.
Well, I'm not going to use the same one next time. You be sure of that. So whoever's after me, again, fuck off.
Well, David, I'm glad you got things worked out, got back in here. I think tonight was a wonderful show with Lisa Mychols. Great idea. Great bringing her on here, David. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
We're going to wrap things up here. And next week, Fernando Perdomo. So everybody, tell your friends to put it.
Extraordinaire, producer extraordinaire, human being extraordinaire. You'll
awesome. That's going to be awesome. Next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Coast, 6 p.m. Eastern Coast time, episode 7 of Material Issues with Fernando Perdomo. David, always great to be with you, my friend. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you so much. Always.
We'll talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.